If Call of Duty has stopped feeling fun, it's not you. A lot of us are burned out, and the reasons are baked into the design of the game. My name is Distello, and I have played Call of Duty religiously for over the past 15 years. I played on a semi-pro level and traveled across the country, and then I burned out. Today we're going to go over how fights resolving, Call of Duty's progression system, and how lobby tuning has all fueled that burnout, and how all of this can be fixed without turning Call of Duty into a different game. Do you ever feel like Call of Duty lets you win and then suddenly the switch flips? That's not paranoia. That's part of a deeper system called EOMM. We hear about skill-based matchmaking all the time, and that's not this. This is called engagement optimized matchmaking. It's like skill-based matchmaking, but instead of chasing fairness, they're chasing your attention span. When you start winning too much, I know you've realized that suddenly you're bumped into a higher skilled lobby is almost forced to lose. Those are engineered losses made to pull you back into frustration. Then you lose 1, 2, sometimes even 3, and you win a game. And it feels like you've earned it, and you get a dopamine hit, and you continue playing.
Are you winning, son?
So next time that you feel like you're being forced to lose, you actually might be. Now we hear this in so many different names, such as the win-loss manipulation loop, or the forced loss loop, even down to the frustration fun loop. Sometimes it seems like it's the frustration loop. And this isn't made up. Activision actually has a patent. Let me read this. Describes matchmaking using player data like win-loss history, engagement metrics, and even in-game purchases to optimize future matches. It even mentions matching less skilled players with highly skilled players to encourage spending or retention. This is essentially a psychological tuning system. Now, Call of Duty has just mentioned that Black Ops 7 will have its own mode where skill-based matchmaking doesn't exist, but will EOMM not exist? They're on the road to trying to fix this themselves as they realize that they're losing a lot of players. Now, we can get into that in another video, but Call of Duty is losing their top 10% of players on a regular basis. Is this a cry for help? Next is something that I like to call the treadmill. This is a progression in meta fatigue. Have you realized that there is always just a couple really strong guns and almost everything else sucks? This is intentional. Call of Duty have frequent meta swings to try and keep you engaged using different weapons. They also have limited time modes to try and force retention with a FOMO system, a fear of missing out. We've seen it multiple times where Warzone, you have to go to this place and do this to get this. And if you miss that time frame, you're out of luck. But the big one that falls into the meta fatigue is the cosmetic noise. I'm sure that you probably know multiple cosmetic variants from the past that has made players almost invisible, or changes hitboxes, or the emotes that make it so that you can't hit people. What is this? Now, cosmetics are how they're making a lot of their money, and I can't blame a business for trying to make money. But when it's affecting the gameplay, you need something else. Creating a toggle to turn off skins could help this. There's pros and cons to this all. Your pros being help in esports, help in fairness, and the reduction of visual noise. But then you also have the cons on their side. If they have a toggle, are they going to face monetization risks? Are they going to be losing money because people are hiding skins and the perceived value of those skins are dropping? How about when you buy blueprints and they grant attachments for your gun that you haven't even unlocked yet? What happens when you toggle it off then? But just the ability to toggle whether your cosmetics are on, visually what you see for everybody, or if they're off for ranked only, or off everywhere, this could solve some of those issues. especially when they get into times where they haven't play tested enough, which then leads us into problems of the updates. There has been a perceived loss of focus on updates or tweaking that truly make an impact. If we go back to BO2, we only truly had 4 updates, and that was with the launch of DLC packs. So they had to make sure that they got it right. Whereas now, if they mess up, they'll just release another patch next week. And that needs to change. To end it off, we have the friction of the fight, or a fancy word called map disempowerment. This is something that's done throughout many games, but map disempowerment is specifically designed maps to make you feel not powerful. Disempowerment. This is the inability to shoot through walls that you should be able to shoot through, or take people off those head glitches, which shouldn't exist in the first place. This is all purposeful. With that, you have the spawns. Enemies appearing behind you after you push a lane, or you killing someone and them spawning to your right for an instant trade. Then you also have the spawns flipping too aggressively. But here's my fix. Imagine a scored spawn system with gates to block those spawns off in certain variables. Every time that someone needs to spawn, these spawn points are assigned specific points based off of where enemies are, how close your teammates are. Like my example here. Let's say that there's negative 20 points per enemy with a line of sight to that spawn, or negative 20 divided by distance in meters to nearest enemies. Now you can fill all of this up with a negative and positive, and whichever spawn has the highest score, it'll spawn you there. Then you could gate a spawn and allow it not to happen if enemies are in your line of sight, or gate the spawn when you're about to spawn into a kill streak. And there's 100 other things that you can add to this to fine tune it. The unfortunate part is Call of Duty knows what they're doing, and it is all being done to keep us here. If you're feeling burned out, it's not you, and you're not alone. With my comeback back to YouTube, I'm rebuilding my love for FPS through playing different games, analysis, experiments, and figuring out what actually makes games and gunfights fun. In one of my next videos, I am rebuilding a Call of Duty map to try and fix the flow of the game.